IG, TikTok, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. No, I am not on Threads. So y'all gonna have to catch it on the platforms that I'm on right now. Daytone, what up? Somebody asked me in my comment, in my DM the other day, will I be joining Threads? Probably not, especially right now. I mean, my thing, social media, relinquish a lot of our information to get on these social media platforms. And then if you deactivate your Threads, by default, they're going to deactivate your Instagram account from what I've read. So I think I'm going to just stay with what I have. So y'all already know the drill. Drop your name, drop your number. Drop your name, your business, what city you chiming in from. And make sure you share this with at least 3 people. Y'all already know I'm probably looking at a couple different screens. I'm not going to be on here long today. But what I want to talk to you about is what you're investing in fraud? Is what you are investing in fraud? Richard Stokes, what up, bro? I get a lot of people who have been reaching out to me. What program, a product? What up, Yolanda? Got Denver in the house. I think I saw Texas. We got a publishing company in here. What up, George? And I'm meeting a lot of people who've invested in a lot of things over the past few years, and they've lost their money. Let's talk about that today. Now, again, make sure y'all share this with at least 3 to 5 people. Instead of worrying about, all of the stuff going on social media, we need to be worrying about what's going on in our own house. Instead of worrying about, Kiki and her boyfriend, let's worry about what's going on with our finances. Instead of worrying about all of this stuff that does not help us get closer to our goal, unless you are looking to start a media company, unless you are looking to do an online site where you're covering, pop culture, we shouldn't be concerned about anybody else besides our own personal financial and business statement. Okay? And that's what we're going to talk about here today. So make sure y'all get them likes up on TikTok for me, please. On Instagram, let's continue to share this. So I want to talk about the first thing I want to briefly touch on is what you're investing in. Is it fraud? Is it fraud? So I spoke with a client over the weekend, and they were wanting to invest into my REI 90 program. And for those who don't know what my REI 90 program is, it is my real estate group coaching, where I teach people, the operative word, I teach people how to invest in real estate. I'm not asking for your money. I don't want your money. I'm not having you go out there and get credit card points for airline miles. I'm teaching people how to make their money make them money. Somebody type that in the chat. Make your money make you money. Okay? Make your money make you money. Okay? That's what I come on here and I teach. Yes, I know it's not popular. I didn't get on the internet to be popular. I didn't get on here to get the most amount of views. I don't care about a bunch of clicks. I legitimately come on here and try to teach you guys something. For those who've been following me since the FICO Friday days, a lot of people's lives were changed with the FICO Fridays. A lot of people's lives were changed, learning concrete information. I didn't come on the internet with gimmicks and telling you what banks you can go and finesse. I didn't come on here telling you how to travel for free and all of these travel hacks. Not that it's anything wrong with that, but I think when that is your focus, you jump into these opportunities for the wrong reason. And that's actually kind of the segue of what we're going to talk about here today is what you're investing in. Is it fraud? So I spoke with a client over the weekend, and they were wanting to invest in the REI 90 program. And they said, "Will, my money is tapped out because I invested in someone who took my money." Okay? They said I invested in someone who took my money. Now, whenever people say that, I always like to dig deeper, because someone taking someone's money, that could be anything. And here's what I mean by that. People sometimes join programs and they don't do the work. That is not someone taking your money. People jump into these courses and these programs with an unrealistic expectation. That is not someone taking your money. Let's have an honest dialogue here today, fam. All right, peace, King. Just started REI 92 weeks ago. Welcome. Looking forward to seeing you on a call tomorrow. And so we have to, so there's a very fine line, okay, in understanding what is considered someone taking your money when you make an investment into a program or to a course. Now, I saw somebody type in the chat, "I do my best to do my research." Okay? And I'm going to ask, what type of research are you doing? Okay? So now, I remember about 3 years ago, I had a friend of mine who wanted to do this investment into this real estate development deal. Okay? And he brought the deal to me and asked me, did I want to invest as well too? And I'm always careful about putting my money into development deals, especially if I don't know enough about the organizers of the development. If y'all don't know, I'm putting y'all up. I'm giving you guys some things you can utilize when doing your research. Okay. He asked me, he said, "Will, do you want to jump into this development deal?" And see, and I get it. Sometimes we as aspiring entrepreneurs, especially black entrepreneurs and recently new black investors, we want to jump in things that sound larger than life. We hear development deal and we're like, "Oh, I want to jump into that." And not that it's anything wrong with that. But do we really do our due diligence? Because let me tell you what most people's due diligence consists of. They'll go and Google somebody. They'll go ask their best friend. They try to find the degrees of separation to the individual. They want to find out, hey, did you do business with this person? Did you do? And let me tell you why that's a flawed way of doing research. That's a flawed way of doing research because I'm never going to base my experience solely off of one person's experience. Let me say that again. I'm not basing my I'm not going to base my decision off of one person's experience. And let me tell you why. Just follow me. Trust me. just follow me where I'm going with this. Statistically, most people who jump into opportunities, who sign up for courses, who join programs, who do homeboy business partnerships, they don't be real partnerships on paper, who doing real estate, most of the time, the person who had the bad experience, they don't always do things the right way either. Let me say that again. Sometimes the person who had the bad experience doesn't always do things the right way either. So if I run into someone and say, "Hey, what was your experience with ABC development?" And they're like, "Oh, they're trash." I'm going to know, what are you basing that analysis off of? And if you really ask the right questions, generally they cannot give you a legitimate response. They're like, "Oh, I don't like them. They're unprofessional, this, that, and the third." But what I find out is that a lot of the times they jumped into things with an unrealistic expectation. So they're giving you an emotional response. Okay. So going back to my friend who wanted me to jump into this development deal, I said, "Did you do your research?" And he said, "Yes, I did." And what his research consisted of was they asked around town and found some individuals who knew the people who were putting together the development deal. And the thing they said was, oh, they're good people. That was their basis of their research. Okay. That was the basis of their research. And so what I found out is that that is an extremely flawed way of doing business and making a decision. And so as I took it upon myself to do my due diligence, what I found out is that the company they were utilizing to organize this development deal, the company was inactive on the Secretary of State. So they had let the company lapse. They didn't even renew it. The company didn't have a business bank account. They had no track record. And when I asked them to send over any corresponding documents and agreements to have my attorney read it, it looked like a fifth grader put the paperwork together. That was a red flag to me. So my level of due diligence is different than the average person's because I'm not going based off of emotion of what someone else's experience was. I'm doing actual research. Just like I know a lot of people are saying, hey, I want to find an investor for my product or service or program. That investor doesn't care about, some of the things that we make emotional decisions about. They're going to do their due diligence on the company, on the business, on the foundational structure of that entity to determine if they're going to do business with you or not. And once we learn how to do our due diligence in that capacity, it is until then that people will continuously still jump into bad opportunities. Okay? I see the numbers dwindling. And I get it. This is the stuff that people don't like to hear. People want to hear how we can come on here and make $100,000 in 2 days. But that's what puts people in these bad situations, is because they get caught up by what they think, the speed of their success should look like, which is going to take me into what I want to talk about. Are you investing into systems or into people? Are you investing into systems or into people? And here's what I mean. There's a lot of people who have invested into a lot of these bad real estate coaching programs, a lot of these credit business programs, and people have gotten their money taken. Okay? But now, when people come to me and they speak with me or my team, the first thing I always ask, did you invest in that individual or did you invest in the system that they're showing you how to grow in whatever area it is you're looking to grow in? So let's just say it's in real estate, okay? For the sake of this example, okay? Did you invest in that real estate coaching program because of the lifestyle that they were promoting, or are you investing into the system that they're showing you? It's a big difference. Huge difference. See, if people are only willing to show you what they've earned from real estate, 9 times out of 10, they've earned it from the products that they've sold you. This is why it's dangerous to come on here and teach you guys the top 5 credit cards. This is why it can be dangerous to talk about, hey, let me teach you these travel hacks. When people should be showing you, let me teach you these bill paying hacks. See, I teach you hacks on how to pay your bills, while everybody else is focused on trying to teach you how to travel for free. Why do black people charge people for game instead of lifting each other up? Same reason. See, I'm not against people charging for information. I believe you should. And first of all, let's take it off the table of when we say, why are black people charging for information instead of uplifting? So we have to first classify, what do we consider uplifting? Is uplifting doing handouts, or is uplifting encouraging that if you can do it, I can do it? See, I think we have such a misconception of what we think uplifting and giving back means. Because the same people who want the information for free, they turn around and sell it. So now there's a level of being a hypocrite when people are saying, hey, we shouldn't charge for information. But here's the reality. Here's the reality. The information is out there. Other races do charge. You change other races, but it's not always about money. I'm not sure what that means. You can't go into a Robert Kiyosaki program for free. I'm going to a multifamily real estate program next month. Okay? And it's going to be a lot of hedge fund individuals there talking about privatized lending. It's not free. Matter of fact, they're charging for it. You know, there's a wealth conference coming out here. Nobody on the program looks like us. There's no melanated guests on that itinerary. It's a cost. You go to you name anybody in any space. Patrick David Beck, who I'm a huge fan of, his programs cost. So we have to stop this notion of why do we charge each other? Because the information is out there. Now, you don't get the necessary strategies on how to maybe piece it together. But if you really want to learn how to do real estate, it's on the internet for free. If you really want to learn how to run a business, there's a book called Business for Dummies. Shaq shouted the book out. So we have to stop this notion of why don't we want to help each other for free? Because I don't know anybody who works for free. Because the research is free, like somebody just put in. The research is free. Like if you go to the gym and you want to change your physique, you can research on the internet meal plans. You can research on the internet workouts. But if you want someone to hold you accountable, if you want to be able to pick up the phone and speak to somebody directly, like if you want those intricate strategies, you have to pay for a personal trainer. You have to pay for a nutritionist. And it's not just black communities. Is it better to purchase a house or land? It depends on what your goal is. It depends on what your goal is. All right. Folks that be cheap be the ones on the blackjack theory. Derek Smart says, folks that be cheap be the ones on the blackjack theory. You're paying for the service. You're better off becoming an intern and earning the course in exchange for work. I agree for that. I agree to that. But see, a lot of the people aren't even willing to do the work to get next to the people who are willing to teach or learn. Because here's the thing. Even when you're interning, it's not necessarily somebody sitting you down and saying ABC 1, 2, 3. You learn by being an intern through their work ethic. See, and people got this whole thing all wrong when it comes to information. Because here's the reality. Okay? I've been teaching y'all how to do this for free for the past 6 years. But it's the work nobody wants to do. So even though there are still people out here who are giving the game for free, so even for somebody to make that comment about why do we have to pay for information? What I'm telling you right here on this live is free information that typically you would have to go and pay for. But it's the work we don't want to do. That's the part people don't want to do. King, literally pick what's light a fire in you and find a way to monetize it. Absolutely. So going back to what I talked about earlier, are you investing into the people or into the system? See, people get caught up in the trips. People get caught up in the shiny objects that the people show you. Hey, if you invest in real estate, this is what you can buy. These are the trips you can take. These are the cars you can drive. But are they showing you the systems so that the systems can pay for the trips? The systems can pay for the cars. The systems can pay for the houses. I appreciate the nuggets you give myself and others. You changed the way I think. Appreciate that, Derek. And that's really my whole goal, guys. Because, believe it or not, I can give you, matter of fact, I actually have already done so. I can give you every single thing and lay it out on a platter. But if your mind, if the way you think about it is not conducive to that concept, it doesn't even matter. It doesn't even matter. And I'll prove it to you. I'll prove it to you. I did a live a while back where I said I'm going to literally tell you how to combat inflation. Okay, I did a whole live on how to combat inflation, and this was on live. This wasn't a paid webinar. I didn't rent out a room and charge people an admission fee. I literally broke down step by step on how to make additional revenue to combat inflation. And there was maybe 40 people on the live. So the thing that I need people to know, I have one property and my tenant have been giving me a headache and I'm feeling a little discouraged and frustrated. Do you have a property manager? Maybe time to kick the tenant out. See, unfortunately, a lot of times people are emotionally tied to the business transaction. See, I don't get emotionally tied to the business transaction. If you have a problem tenant, depending on what the issue is, you may need to put them out. It's really that simple. It's really that simple. And plus, why would you let somebody frustrate you? Because let me tell you something, Queen. When you get 20 properties, you're going to get frustrated. When you're making $1 million a year, you're going to be frustrated. So we have to eliminate this emotion of feeling frustrated when things don't go smoothly in business, because it never will. It never will. I was just on the phone with my property managers today because I have a tenant who's behind $11,000 in rent. Guess what? I'm not taking it personal. Now, mind you, I'll tell you why some people do take it personal is because they're upside down. The mortgage is too expensive and they really can't service the debt. Not saying that's your case, Queen. If you don't want to relinquish to pay for a property manager, then that's the headache you have to be willing to deal with. See, this is why I say there's 4 areas of wealth building. Okay? This is the 4-step round tree methodology. Number 1 is mindset. If you don't have the mindset to remove the emotion, business is not for you. Business is not for you. If you don't have the mindset to deal with problems, to deal with tenants, to deal with clients, to deal with people not paying you, you got to be able to deal with people talking about you, people stealing from you, people like losing money. Business is not for you. It's a mobile home and I paid cash for it, thankfully. So that should be an easy one, Queen. Cut ties, get rid of the headache. Honestly, my fear is being able to build a strong team because I know that I can't do it all on my own. I need a team. Well, build a team. You just answered your own question. See, we focus on the things that scare us the most, but they're really easy fixes. What was your job to build the capital to invest? Credit. Credit. As a matter of fact, The money I used from my job when I first got into business, I failed. I actually lost all my money. Liquidated my 401k, lost that because I invested in the business for the wrong reason. I was greedy. I was chasing money. What's your opinion on long-term investments like EFTs and index funds? I'm fine with those, but I also know that that is something that is going to stay there. I like real estate because I can control my flow. I can control my flow. So if I'm investing in EFTs or index funds or stocks, I know that that is a 10 to 20 year play. See, I don't play the stock market to make quick money. I think that's why a lot of people lose so much money in stock, is they're thinking it's going to be another GameStop situation. I'm not a day trader. That I don't like gambling with my money to that capacity. I rather put it into something that I have predictive revenue. Okay. My mom is a new real estate agent and she's about to attempt for her broker's license. Any tips? I can't give you any tips in that space because I'm not a, this is Will Roundtree's opinion. Okay. This is not the opinion of anybody else's. I'm not a believer in holding a real estate license. I'd rather be an investor. It's too many regulations. So I personally rather be an investor. So I really don't have any advice for her. When you purchased your first property, did you already have a contractor in place? Great question. No, I didn't. But because I hired a property manager, they already had contractors. See, I don't flip. I don't like flipping properties. That's not my thing. Because you can't retain assets flipping them away. This is why we don't have anything. Matter of fact, let me get to this that I was going to drop on you guys a little bit later. Did you guys know last year, or let me ask you guys this. Let me ask it in the question. Who wants to take a guess at the percentage of blacks that purchased real estate last year? Who wants to take a guess at the percentage of blacks that invested in real estate last year? I see on TikTok, y'all quick with the answers. 3%. 3% of blacks invested in real estate last year. 3. Let me say that again. 3% of blacks invested in real estate last year. This is national. This is recorded, documented information nationally, not in your local city, not in your local office. Because I know, unfortunately, we don't have a scope outside of our Instagram following. Like, whatever we see, the bulk of what people who we follow are doing, we think that that's the masses. And it is not. As a matter of fact, some of us need to get out of our backyards because our way of thinking is it's very sheltered. 3% of blacks invested in real estate last year. What does that tell me? We all are wanting this elusive dream and this elusive goal of wanting ownership, but we don't know what to own. We all want this elusive goal of having monies for our families well after we're gone, but we're not doing the work. And then we can't keep saying, oh, well, nobody's teaching us. We know how to, we have went and people have went and Googled everything they can find out about Keke Palmer and her boyfriend, but we don't know how to figure out how to find a contractor. People will do their research on the latest and greatest scandal of their favorite celebrity and make entire pages to that individual, but we can't figure out like what the